Okay, now let's look at a problem. I'll spend 10 minutes doing my social studies assignment, and then I'll do some math problems that take me 2 minutes each. I'm going to spend between 20 and 40 minutes doing homework. How many math problems will I have time for? Well, let's break it apart. So we're going to spend 10 minutes on doing social studies and 2 minutes each on the math problems. So the total amount of time that we're going to spend is 10 minutes plus 2 times the number of math problems. Now if we represent the problem on the number line, it kind of looks like this, that the amount of time that we'll spend, the 10 minutes plus 2 times the number of math problems, has to be between 20 and 40. Mathematically, we can write that like this. 20 is less than or equal to 10 plus 2m, which is less than or equal to 40. Now, here's what the solution looks like. So first, we'll subtract 10 from each side, but this really has 3 sides. So we have to subtract 10 from each of these in an effort to isolate this m in the center. So we'll subtract 10. On the left, we get 20 minus 10 is 10, 2m plus 10 minus 10 is 2m, and 40 minus 10 is 30. Next, we'll divide each of the 3 parts by 2, and we'll get 5 is less than or equal to m, and that is less than or equal to 15. So our solution can be written like that, and if you're asked to graph it, the graph would look like this. 5 to 15 shaded in. And you might also write m is greater than or equal to 5 and m is less than or equal to 15. That's also valid. It's also correct. Now, you try this problem. Copy the problem into your journal. If it's helpful, make a model of the problem on the number line, solve the problem, graph it, and then restart the video when you're ready. Okay, here's a model of the problem. We'll start by noting that the amount of time that it's going to take us is 3 times the number of cupcakes plus 20 minutes. On a number line, that looks like this. The total time is going to take between 40 and 80 minutes, and the actual time is 3 times the number of cupcakes plus 20. And I can write that as an inequality this way. 40 is less than or equal to 3c plus 20, which is less than or equal to 80. Now, let's solve the problem. So there's our inequality. I'll subtract 20 from each of the 3 parts in an effort to isolate c, and we're left with 20 is less than or equal to 3c is less than or equal to 60. Now we'll divide each of the parts by 3, and we get 6 2/3 is less than or equal to c is less than or equal to 20. Now, because this is a fractional amount, we have to think about whether this should be 6 or 7. Now, because this result came out as 6 2/3, we have to think about whether 6 or 7 is really the correct answer. Now, if we made 6 cupcakes, we would be spending less than 40 minutes. So really, in our answer, we should round to 7. And so we would represent the answer this way, and we could say 6 is greater than or equal to 7, or c is greater than or equal to 7, and c is less than or equal to 20. And we would correct this inequality in our final answer. Now let's take a look at how we solve OR inequalities. We're given the inequality 2x plus 11 is less than 21, or 5x plus 12 is greater than 102. Now the way we approach those is we solve each one separately and then join them with OR. So for this, we'll subtract 11 from each side and get 2x is less than 10. And then we will divide each side by 2, and we'll get x is less than 5. So that's the first part. Now let's do the second part. We'll subtract 12 from each side and get 5x is greater than 90. Divide each side by 5, and we'll get x is greater than 18. And then on a number line, that's what it looks like. X is greater than 18 or x is less than 5. Now I'd like you to try this problem. 2x plus 1 is less than or equal to 7, or 9x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 91. Remember, solve them separately, join the results by or, and then graph it on a number line. Stop the video and restart it when you're done. Okay, let's look at this final problem. So, solving 2x plus 1 is less than or equal to 7. We subtract 1 from each side, we get 2x is less than or equal to 6, divide each side by 2, and we've got x is less than or equal to 3. On this side, we subtract 1 from each side, and we get 9x is greater than or equal to 90. Divide each side by 9, and we get x is greater than or equal to 10. And as we graph that, the graph looks like this. X is greater than or equal to 10, or x is less than or equal to 3, and we write the solution this way. And that concludes this video.